What I want to talk about today is the best thing to sell on eBay. What's the best thing to sell to make the most money? What is up, guys? Welcome back. Hurricane Harvey did not take me out, although let me tell you, it was a hell of a ride. Needless to say, it was a killer storm, and we did survive. Just trying to recover, still trying to recover. Been out of work for almost 3 weeks now. Just getting back to work and getting a video out for you guys because it has been a while. If this is your first time here to my channel, my name is Phil, aka, or better known as the King of Thrift. What I teach on this channel is how you guys can work from home and be your own boss, buying and reselling on eBay. And if you haven't subscribed already, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. Now, with that out of the way, guys, let's get into the topic for today. What's the best thing to sell to make the most money? It's actually what you know the most about. It's what you're into, In other words, finding your niche is based on the individuals, based on who you are and what you're all about and what your background is and, what you know about. This is going to decide, where you should go and what you should sell. Let's just say you're into cars or motorcycles or, tools or collectibles. Maybe you're into art. Maybe you're into art supplies, crafts. I mean, you name it. I mean, there's anything. You can be into anything. You can be into fish tanks and aquariums and that kind of stuff. So you should go into that particular field and that particular niche, because what this is going to do is this is going to give you an advantage right from the jump. In other words, I look on YouTube and all I see are resellers, YouTubers trying to teach you guys how to sell men's clothing. And I really don't understand what the obsession is with men's clothing. Let me tell you guys, I mean, now personally, I do sell men's clothing, but coming up in this game, I sold everything. And the reason that I actually sell men's clothing now is because, I went through a 15-year process that brought me to that place. But it took me probably a good 10 years, let's say maybe 7 or 8 years before I finally sort of got into men's clothing exclusively. But even now, I still sell other things. Let's say, for instance, like I said, you want to go into, let's say, antiques. Men's clothing, by the way, is very difficult. And honestly, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that anyone, go into selling clothing. It is lucrative. It is very plentiful. And hey, don't get me wrong, you can make a great living. I do. But you got to realize I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So I have a knowledge base that most of you guys are not going to carry. I mean, this stuff needs to be in your head. In other words, you can't go out there, you can't look up every shirt, you can't look up every jacket, you can't look up every vintage t-shirt, you can't look up every pair of shoes. I mean, you can, and in the beginning, that's what I did. I had to look up everything. I mean, I've got thousands and thousands of research hours to get where I am today, and that is to sell clothing. It encompasses such a spectrum of styles and brands and sizes. If you just get into the styles alone, I mean, that's enough to drive anyone crazy, because there's so many different styles contained within men's clothing, and women's clothing as well. I don't do women's clothing. I never have, but I know that you can make a boatload of cash selling women's clothes. I mean, I've seen women's dresses go for $300, $400, $1,200 on eBay. So, but that's just something that I don't get into because, I don't have the knowledge base. So, jumping into men's clothing and, trying to sell men's clothing and buying yourself a huge death pile and building this death pile of men's clothes, hey, if that's what you're into and, that's what you're passionate about, then hey, more power to you. And I say go for it. But I'm not recommending that. And I've actually had some people ask me why I don't teach more about what it is exactly that I do, which is, clothing. And that's because, I do not want to steer you guys in the wrong direction. In other words, all these other guys, like I said, every YouTuber, it seems like every YouTube reseller is trying to teach you guys how to sell men's clothing and men's shoes. But I mean, you think about it, if the whole world is selling men's clothes and men's shoes, what's going to happen to that market? Number one, that is not the reason why I'm not recommending it. It is not because of the competition, because I mean, honestly, I mean, it would take a ton of people before I would begin to feel, the repercussions in my business, in the dollars that I make. You need to go into what it is that and let's just say, for instance, that you are into, antiques. Well, a great place to pick up antiques, number one, is the thrift shops. And another really great place to pick up antiques is at garage sales. You can also get antiques, you know, in the paper, in Craigslist, in the actual newspaper, you know, the green sheet. I don't know if any of you guys even know what the green sheet is, but I think they still make them. But you can, you know, you can pick up antiques in the green sheet, and then you can sell them on OfferUp. You can sell them on Facebook. You can sell them on, I mean, there are tons and tons of places and apps, you know, there are many of outlets to sell larger items locally, in other words. So, you know, don't let that stop you. You can also sell these on eBay. So just because it's a large item and you can't ship it, don't think that you can't sell it on eBay, because I've sold tons and tons of items that I couldn't ship. I sold them on eBay. I put them on eBay, and within a week, they're gone. You know, so, and people are glad to come pick them up. So, you know, like I said, go for what you know, go for your own knowledge base. Like I said, that is going to put you ahead of 90% of the pack, because, you know, not everyone is skilled in every single subject, you know, or every single area of merchandising, so to speak. So, you know, if you're into fine china, then, you know, hey, go out there, hit the thrift shops, hit the yard sales, and check out all the fine china, and work that area. You know, focus in that niche. Don't try to don't try to be all over the place. In other words, picking up something that's worth money here, something that's worth money there, which you can do. But what that is going to do is just it's sort of dispersing your efforts. It's sort of spreading your efforts out over a wider range. And we all know that, you know, I mean, the way that a knife cuts, or the way that a laser cuts, is that the light is focused to a pinpoint, and that's what gives a laser the cutting power. Same thing with a knife. A knife is focused to a razor's edge, and that's what gives it cutting power. When you take that knife and you flip it to the other side, it's got a wide, blunt edge, doesn't cut nearly as well, because the energy is being dispersed over a wider space. Same thing with a light. You can't burn a hole through very much with a flashlight, because that light is being dispersed. It's not being focused to a pinpoint. So my point is, the more that you focus, the more that you pinpoint your focus, the more that you sort of laser focus your efforts into one particular niche and one particular area or subject matter, the better you're going to become in that, and the more prolific and efficient that you're going to be when you're out there working and hustling. So, you know, that's what I would recommend, guys, you know, and don't limit yourself to men's clothes and men's shoes. Now, with that being said, I still think shoes are a great way to make some extra money. The reason I say shoes is because the learning curve for shoes is much less. You know, it's not nearly as great as trying to do men's clothes, or even women's clothes for that matter. In summary, guys, go into what you know, go for what you know, play to your strengths. In other words, learn your niche, you know what I'm saying? I mean, learn everything about it and learn the history of it. You know, I mean, I don't just sell men's clothing. I know the history of men's clothing. You know, I mean, I know where the necktie came from. I know where suits came from. I know where, you know, fashion evolved, how it evolved. You know, so you need to really, really dig in, because the more that you can know about your niche, the more, the better equipped that you're going to be, you know, to make that money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's as simple as that. The more you know, guys. So, you know, you need to find out which ones are the best sellers in your niche, which ones are the worst sellers. You know, what the going rates for on eBay are. You know, what the average sell-through rates are for any particular item. Which of those particular items in your niche is going to be your bread and butter items. Learn your niche, learn everything you can about it, and if you can, if the opportunity is there, then sub-niche it. The more that you can, you know, drill down your niche and sub-niche it, so to speak, then the more money you're going to make, you know. In other words, you know, when you go to the doctor, you go to a general practitioner of medicine, and what does he do? 9 times out of 10, if he finds something wrong, what does he do? He sends you to a specialist. Something's wrong with your foot. Well, I don't know about the feet. You know, I'm just a general practitioner of medicine. I will send you to a foot doctor. You know, you having neck problems, we'll send you to the neck specialist. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? And what is the specialist? What is the foot doctor charge? An arm and a leg, no pun intended. What does the neck specialist charge? In other words, they charge more because they're specialists. Okay, so that advice right there is worth its weight in gold, guys. So, you know, drill down and then sub-niche it, and really drill in and dig into that niche and find your very, very particular area of expertise. And trust me, guys, you will not regret it, and you will be thanking me down the line. So I hope this has helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions, you know, on this subject matter, or finding your niche, make sure you drop that down in the comments section below. And if this is your first time to my channel, don't forget to sign up and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. Thanks for tuning in for another video, guys. And until my next one, you guys be good.